Hi, I'm Kerry Garrison,
And I'm Chad Handy.
and welcome to the Firearm Show. And today we have one of our most badass looking guns that we've had on the show so far. We pulled this out at the range. Before I get to it, I'm just going to give a little story. We pulled this out at the range today. Heads turned.
Yes.
People were like, "What the hell is that?" And then we had to explain what it was and that it wasn't a big scary gun and all that. But it is definitely one of the coolest looking guns we've had. Tell us a little bit about it.
This is the GSG 522 SD. I made a few modifications on it. Took off the original sight and put on an actual MP5 rear sight. Also put on an MP5 stock. Hold it out so I can actually use HK pins, takedown pins, just to make life easier and keep things on the up and up. But wow, I mean, we had no stovepipes, no
Nothing.
fees, nothing. This thing just ran like a top.
It rocked at the range. Now, this can on front, not real.
No, not even close.
Unfortunately, it's just a shroud that goes over the barrel. So, in fact, just as much as we would like this to be real,
Sadly, it's not.
no. See, standard 22 barrel on there. But you got to admit, with it on there, looks a whole lot cooler. And what was really nice is even after a handful of magazines through this thing, you could just pick it up and put it away. This did not get hot at all. This handguard is rubberized. Really fantastic feel to it. I mean, you can really dig into that. And with these sights that are on here, man, this thing was, well, it wasn't dialed initially because hadn't really had it out.
Right.
But we just had to make a tiny windage adjustment, and this thing was rock solid. So magazines.
This is the 10 round for those of you who want to go with this model. There are 10 round.
Or if you're in California, you have to buy it that way.
Yeah, there is that.
And pretty easy to load. The little handguard or hand placement things on both sides to help pull it down as you're feeding your rounds into it. Standard 22 long rifle.
High velocity on these.
High velocity. Pretty much any GSG gun is going to be high velocity.
Yeah, I mean they have it on all their material. They recommend high velocity, and I wouldn't shoot anything less.
So tell us a little bit about the operation.
Well, I mean, just like it obviously looks like an HK. That's what they were modeled off of. It works much in the same way as far as the action and everything. Safety is relatively close to the original. Feels great. Ended up putting on a Uncle Mike's little kind of universal rubber grip on here. And I actually also, on the new 522 SDs, it does not have this front ghost ring. So there is a kit that you can get to restore it so that you can have that back on. Really easy to do.
So one of the issues was that when this originally came out, it was too close to the HK.
Correct.
And so there was a lawsuit. GSG had to make some modifications so that it wasn't so close to it. However, you can buy all those parts.
You can. Everything comes in a kit and actually works for, if I'm not mistaken, every model, including the PK pistol.
Wow. And on the range, fun as hell. Again, we started with our Monty Gear AR rest to get it dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
Love this thing. Real simple. Folds down flat. If you don't have one, it's a good purchase. And once we had it dialed in, this thing just freaking rocked. And now, I know that the barrel comes right to the edge of this thing, and this should not change the acoustic signature of it, but this thing is pretty freaking quiet.
Yeah, it was actually quite surprising. When we were firing the 1022 after it definitely seemed a little louder.
It
could
did.
have been a perception.
Could have been. It may have nothing to do with the shroud. It could be just the way this thing's designed, the barrel itself. It is definitely seemed to be quieter than the 1022. It is a 22, so there's not a lot of recoil to begin with.
Right.
And the first shot out of this, you're just like,
that's it.
Did I misfire? Because the trigger pulled, and they're just almost no sound and almost no recoil. Now, granted, we had electronic ears on and all that.
We did have a lot of people shooting around us. So.
But in a range, it was not loud at all,
No.
which was kind of cool. The big heavy charging handle is kind of cool. The big chunky safety is kind of cool. So everything about it just screams coolness. Why don't I show it what it looks like with a magazine in it? You get the full effect here.
Yeah, there we go.
So, come on, really, take this thing to the range, it turns heads. A price point.
I want to say I ended up getting this locally for around 3.5-ish, but that was quite a while.
Yeah, I think current models are in the 420 range.
Yeah, I think so.
Somewhere in there. Now, that's not counting the modifications that were done to this particular model. So you can accessorize it a little more with the sights and the stock and other things, and get that price back up another couple $100. But right out of the gate, if you want a 22 and you want something different than a 1022, something that's going to look very unique, it's going to shoot well, it's going to turn heads, and it's going to kind of give you that feel of the real thing. This is a great option. I love guns like this because of that. I can't afford to go out and buy the full auto HK with a suppressor. I mean, I'd be talking thousands of dollars. Here, for a few $100, you can have something that's going to look like it. It's going to be affordable to shoot, assuming you can find 22.
There is that.
That's a problem right now. But if you can find 22, this is a great gun because it's going to be inexpensive to fire.
And it's just fun.
It was fun.
The one thing I will say, that kit also includes this top piece here. On the 522s that are out there now, it actually has a built-in rail, which I wanted to kind of remain true to the platform. So got rid of that so I can use an actual claw mount.
So you could put a red dot or something on the
original one, but the HKs don't have a built-in rail like that for this model. So I wanted to keep it a little bit more true. So the kit came with everything you needed, so that now you can actually use a claw mount. Which, yeah, it's more money. Is it silly? Probably, but I just wanted to remain.
Again, I think it goes to trying to replicate those military, armaments. Yeah. And if that's what you're trying to do, this is a great platform to do it because you're so close already, and you can piece things together and customize it. Maybe you don't like the ghost ring or you don't like something else. You can choose what you want on here. There's not a ton of companies making parts for it, but if you want to get it closer to the real thing, you can get it really, really close. Now, the only real downside to this is there really is no way to put a real suppressor on here.
No.
Otherwise, you'd have to go with a short barrel, or you're going to be sticking it on the end of a threaded barrel. So,
I know on the other models, that don't have the shroud on there, I know people, especially on PK pistol, people have actually ran those full auto, and I don't care for it. But
do with it as you please.
Yeah, pretty much. Stay legal.
How is this in terms of maintenance?
It's actually not bad. I mean, since I put in the HK pins in place of the other ones, I mean, it's one pin to pull the stock up. It's one pin to remove the lower, and then you just go at it. You start pulling the bolt out and everything else. I mean, it's really simple. I think you'll have everything out and on the table, even your first time, in less than 10 minutes.
So that's not bad. A little more complicated than a stock 1022, but look at it. It's going to be a little more complicated here. But cleaning's not going to be that difficult. You're going to really enjoy it. It's got a fantastic fun factor. The ergonomics are great. This rubberized hand grip with the pistol grip gives you really good grip on that thing, so you can just stay right on target. As you can see by the targets that we were shooting really tight groups. So a lot of fun, good price point. This is the GSG 522
SD.
Well, thanks for bringing it today, Chad. Really enjoyed shooting it.
It's my pleasure.
This has been the Firearm Show. We'll catch you next time.
Take care.